Hey guys, how you doing? Coach for the Soul, Thursdays at 3 has begun. About 2 minutes late, sorry about that. It's been a busy day. How's everybody doing? This is a 99% clairvoyant reading. If you're watching this live, hello. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the videos. And please leave a little comment, even if it's an emoji, because I need YouTube to spread this message around the globe. And you can help me with that at billhobart.com, all right? So a lot of stuff to talk about today. A lot of astrological stuff. There's a lot of May coming in, baby. Be ready. Daisy's fine. She still has the problem with her belly. Got the same intestinal issue that Bailey had. So, only hers are more intense. Don't go away in a day. She's been 5 days now. Yeah, so, she'll be okay. You know, she's a baby. Yes, the weather in Detroit is beautiful today. It is 72 degrees right now in Detroit. And energy's fabulous. And, yeah, that's all. The first 4 months are done. So we get to, go forward. Yeah. So, hey, everybody. Yeah. So she's getting ready to go outside. She's looking out there on the balcony. Yep. She's just herself. Yep. Just a little baby self. Yeah. She was very sweet yesterday after being at the vet for 6 hours. She was very complimentary to Daddy. She was chill. She's like, I'm just glad to be home. I'm glad to be home. Glad to be home. So yeah, so that's good that she thinks this is home. So anyway, I'm gonna start. So if anybody saw my little posting yesterday for 2 minutes or whatever it was on Bill Clairvoyant and Bill Hobart and on Instagram, Hobart Bill, it was a very interesting day yesterday. I saw Brenda, my quantum healer, on Tuesday. And great work, like always. Yeah, we talked about some things that are coming up, and she was telling me about all of our veils between old world and new world are now shredding. And I mentioned that I have 3 of those that happened yesterday. I don't use them. They don't smell like anything. I'm assuming that they are fabric sheets for your dryer, but I don't use fabric sheets for my dryer. I don't know where they came from, but what they told me yesterday was that it's part of my veil. Now a veil is used the way that I see it, because Spirit shows me this. It's like a membrane between your former self and your new self. I can only say this, my aunt, my mom's sister, is clairvoyant. Chose not to be. But she was born with a veil over her face, a piece of skin that completely covers her face and attached to her scalp. And babies are still born like that. So they had to cut the skin, and that freaked the family out, because she would be clairvoyant, which she definitely was, about probably 20 years ago, probably 15 years ago. Her and I were having a conversation at my cousin's house, and she said yes. Things happened when I was 3 years old, and I totally refused it. You know, there was people in my bedroom, and I'm like, okay, I get it. She said, no, I didn't want any part of that at all. It didn't work for me at all, but I still have it, blah, 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 blah. My mom had it too, only she didn't have the veil. So it's just a membrane that's between our former self and our new self. For her, for children born with the veil, 100% clairvoyant, can see, hear, taste, do all the clairs when they're babies, all right? They're usually thought of as a gift from God. That's what they were thought of back in the day. And I believe that too. Yeah. So that membrane, or cloth, let's say, is shredding. Now, what does that mean? We're leaving our former self behind. New earth is done for all of us, all right? It doesn't matter where you're at in your ascension. It doesn't matter where you're at with anything. This year, I'm telling you, this year, things are going to shred. Okay, going to shred even more as we go forward. All right, let it happen. Let it happen. if you guys haven't noticed, which I'm sure you do have, May's energy is completely different than the first 4 months. And that's for a reason. Because April culminated all of the stuff from past lives, okay? From our younger years. All of that has come to an end. It's come to an end, all right? So new things are ahead of us, right? That was the culmination, Spirit says, of who you were before. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden your clairs kick in and you're tasting things. In fact, I have a friend who tasted my mom's perfume the other day. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm tasting something. I said it was my mom's perfume. Well, she didn't wear that often, but she smelled like my mom, right? We all have that. He's like, what is that about? I'm like, well, because my mom's always around, right? So when you start with the smell, when you start with the taste, when you start with the hearing, when you start with the see, it's going to be intense and it's going to be power-packed, Spirit says. It is going to enlighten who you are. It's going to connect to your soul, right? It's going to connect to your soul and you're all going to freak out. You're like, okay, what is going on? I don't understand it. Now today, this is May 2nd, it's a really intense day for some people because Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius, okay? And it's going to be like that for the next year and a half, I think it is. So I'll just give you a little taste of what that means because I don't remember. I don't remember, unfortunately. And it will give you guys an idea of exactly what is going on. Okay, so, doop. Pluto in Aquarius, or Pluto in Sagittarius is in the second house. I don't know what that means, but that wouldn't be right. Here it is, Pluto retrograde. I want to tell you guys. When you come up against something you can't change, control, ignore, remember that you can always exercise the power of letting go. That's what Pluto's all about, right? And that's the message from Pluto. That not all progress is made in rational ways. Sometimes going through it is the emotional turmoil, the doubts, the fears is the only way to get through that past. Okay? I'm going to post it on Facebook too. But that's what's going on, right? Come up against something that you can't change, control, ignore, always exercise the power of letting it go. But how do you do that? You have to go through it. That's what the first 4 months were all about. Just to give you that, okay? First 4 months of this year were all about getting so WTF that you finally went, F it, I'm letting it go. I can't do it. And April was, that Mercury retrograde was the most intense Mercury retrograde of my lifetime. I'll tell you that much. And they confirm it. Bro, it is the culmination of everything backing up in that month of April. You cut the cord, you're done. That is all past, it's all done. Hence, I saw Brenda on the 30th of April. See? So expect that. Expect that. That things are going to go, you're going to go right to the wall. Right? Right to the wall and go, okay. And the ego's going to get PO'd. Going to get PO'd and it's going to be crazy. And you're going to be like, okay, blah, 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 blah. That's what you got to do. Talk to them. Tell them to take it away. I don't want this anymore. Here, take it. 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 Right? You can pull it out of your head. You can pull it out of your heart. Don't think that you're powerless, Spirit says. Don't think that you're powerless because you're not. Especially now, because that energy's gone. He said that's like a bad storm. A really long storm. It's a really long storm. And now, it's like, again, Michigan, the weather changes like within 10 minutes. So, right? It honestly does. If you live here, you know what it is. If you live anywhere around water, it's the same kind of way. It's now a spring day. It's a spring day. Right? Spring in your life too. It's spring. And the cool thing is that you can let knowingly all that go. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't like that stuff. I'm letting it go. Do your positive affirmations. I've been doing them for a week and a half, and it definitely works, definitely helps. Now, telling my inside self that, who's used to controlling everything, no, it doesn't really, but it does. It does. And we all have that. This isn't even ego. This is, and Brenda confirmed this, I have another entity, another self inside that I rely on very heavily in the past, right? And I can tell you, I told her some stuff like, oh, no, this is what they're saying. Like, oh, no, Bill, that's, yeah. That is something, because she's a psychologist, right? And she's like, okay, well, get back in. I'll have to get back in with that. And she did. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? But it only shows up when I'm vulnerable, when I feel less than, when I feel like I don't have any control at all, that I'm the victim, right? And we all have that. Either we stuff it down inside and don't pay attention to it. Me, I did that for most of my life. Or we look at it now and we go, okay, what is that? Who is that? And work on getting rid of that. Because that is your inner saboteur, but it's not your ego for me. Ego is not that evil, Spirit says. This is evil. This is evil. Not evil like I'm going to kill somebody, but self-sabotage, because I don't feel powerful sometimes. And all of us feel unpowerful sometimes. But in this energy here, powerful big time. May is my favorite month. I am the happiest in the month of May, as are most people, because they always have a Mercury retrograde in April. Always. So it makes it tough. So as you start to find things after you do a meditation, or you talk to somebody, or you watch the show, or you watch something on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, don't be surprised, because now's the time for them to show you proof that this is what's going on. This is what's going on. And don't freak out. Don't freak out. Because I'm telling you what, once the veil is crumbled, you are open to everything that comes our way. Everything. You want to hear them? Don't be surprised if once you get some idea that, okay, things are starting to shift, they're starting to crumble, that you don't get woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning and want to talk to like 4 or 5 or 6, because they will. All right. And then you get to say, welcome. Welcome to the world, because you feel powerless. You really feel powerless, because you don't really know what it is, and no one's going to tell you except for somebody like, I can let you know what it is, but you'll feel it inside once you get comfortable with that energy. But you're going to receive energy after energy after energy. All right. Now, okay. Next week, there is a new supermoon on the 8th and 9th. Now, it's kind of the same thing I've talked about before. Again, it's more intense. The cool thing is that we're in Taurus, so it kind of like the Earth kind of protects us because it absorbs all that energy, and it's extremely powerful because it's a supermoon, right? It intensifies all the energy that's coming in now, right? A week before and a week after, just like a full supermoon, all right? And I think it's not a solar eclipse. Or it's not a solar. It's not a full moon. I'm almost sure. I believe it's a new moon. But anyway, if it's wrong, I will write it in the comments. So I want you guys to know. So the energy is not going to be negative, all right? There's no negative energy right now at all. If you're feeling it, it is more likely because there's only one retrograde planet, and that is Pluto. It's in Aquarius, okay? And Aquarius is a light, fluffy, come on, let's go do things, but I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. And it is being, no, you're not ready, no, you're not ready. So it's going to challenge us because it's an extremely powerful planet, and Pluto is there to change your life, right? And hang on. It's extremely powerful in Aquarius. Use it to your advantage. Don't think too much. Let us guide you, but approve of where you're going, all right? Because you're going to be focused on something else possibly than what they are, because they know. And like I've said before, if anything comes to you from them, take it. Take it. Because I'm telling you, from now until the end of the year and into 2025, they're going to gift us with all kinds of cool stuff. We just have to make sure that we're conscious enough to go, yes, that's mine. Yes, that's mine. Yes, that's mine. Because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, right? And the more that you are conscious of that, the more that you understand that, the more that you allow, right? Because after Mercury retrograde, especially the one we just had, it's got a lot of people messed up here. Because it was oh my God, I'm so glad I went to Brenda on Tuesday. Because I was all clogged up with all kinds of right? That doesn't matter that I know. Clogging Bill up and not allowing him to clear it. I sat in it, right? And a lot of things happened last week after it ended, right? Some cool things, some cool things happened. But when things are changing many, many times, we can be remorseful. We can go into mourning when things are disappearing from what we've known forever. That's the hardest thing that anybody can do, right? Is to let something go that, especially mine, I'm 64, right? So there's things that I've done, things that I've think about, things that, just that the other person kind of holds on to, the other thing. And sometimes when you let it go, you're remorseful about it. You kind of mourn, right? And that's okay. As long as it is consciously, Spirit says. Just consciously, that's fine, right? But you can't stick yourself in it. Can't stick yourself in it. And understanding that it's the way that you deal with it consciously that absolutely makes it easier or not. Now, the cool thing is that you never want to beat yourself up for sitting in it, okay? I used to do that a lot. How come you can't get it to go? I don't get it. Did it to go? I don't get it. Guess what? I'm not going to get it, right? And that is a lot, again, and tied to that, Spirit says, is Mars and Aries, all right? Mars is a war planet, and Aries is a FU planet, right? Going to do what I want to do. I don't care what you say. I'm going to do it anyway. Kind of like, Uranus is on steroids. Aries is not, but it's the first planet, or I'm sorry, the first sign in the zodiac for the new year. So that's happening now too. So it's a good thing. It helps to clear out your stuff. I was going to say the other word. I caught myself. So I was like, yeah. Okay. So it's going to feel really, really good. It's going to feel really amazing. It's going to feel like you haven't felt in a really long time. All right. Just don't let the circus outside the window take you down. You can't. You can't. Okay? We're going to go on that next. Because what's going on out there does not involve you. I don't care who you're for, right? Politically, doesn't matter, right? Everything is shifting on the planet. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And understand that you don't have to be part of that. Please vote. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who you vote for, but vote, right? Vote for all the people, all the things, everything that's on the ballot, because we need to. You have to participate 100%. I truly believe that, have for a long time, because it's the place we live, right? But you're going to see a lot of effed up stuff, Spirit says. He said the word, but I'm going to say it, right? You can see a lot of effed up stuff because we've never been through this before. We've never been through this 100% total transformation, us and the planet, James, right? That absolutely changes before our eyes. Is there hurt involved in that? Oh yeah, for other people, but you don't have to take that on. You do not have to take that on. I know back in the day, I was all ready to go at it. No, it's not worth it. You're never going to change anyone's mind who isn't willing to change their mind about anything. Spirituality, religion, politics, the color car you're supposed to buy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if you want to engage 30%, Spirit says, maybe 25. But don't go hog in at 100% and start going at, it's not worth it. It isn't worth it. Because you're taking yourself down to 3D, Spirit says, which is true. Which is true, okay? Everything that's good has to shift, including us, including the planet, everything. So it's a better world. We're already in 4D. Well, 5D soon. Some of us are already in 5D, right? Especially after Mercury retrograde. Holy cow, I mean, my God, come on. So understanding that in our lives, how many friends have you lost that you sent away? How many family members have you sent away? How many jobs have you changed to? Right? For us, it's devastating if we lose our job and we have to find a new one, right? It's devastating if we love our friends, but we have to let them go because they don't understand who you are. Family too, right? And again, you have to mourn those losses because that's what we do. Or not. I didn't mourn any loss. I didn't mourn anybody's loss when I lost family or I lost friends. Because for me, my journey was they slowly drifted away. It wasn't as hard. Right? It wasn't as hard. But also, it made me realize and was very grounded when I did decide to let people go by unfriending them on Facebook and blocking them because they just didn't fit anymore. Just didn't fit anymore. They want to yappity. I said, no, go away. I'm not dealing with the circus, and you should neither. Okay? Even if it's a husband or a wife or a family member or best friend, whatever, don't. You're taking yourself down to 3D, and you're going to feel like yucking crap after you get done. Because you don't live in that energy anymore. So you're actually lowering your vibration and going back into the past to talk back to fortify your what you spoke about or what you wrote about, things like that. Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now during Mercury retrograde, I had to close my laptop. So I'm like, nope, not doing that stuff. Because I know during Mercury retrograde, everybody's in a tiz. Everybody's in a tiz. They're angry, they're confused, semi-conscious, and I know that. I had to catch myself a couple of times, but I did unfriend 2 people. No, good, thanks again. Because it doesn't serve me any longer, right? It doesn't serve me any longer. One of those persons was pretty cool some of the time, but not most of the time. And I just hung on with that because, yeah, you know, she's okay. She's okay. No, finally did it, right? Because anybody who aggravates your world needs to go. I don't care who it is. Or you just don't talk to them. You unfriend them on Facebook or get it off Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Yeah, see? So understanding that that the upheaval on the planet, the upheaval in the United States is par for the course. And I'll just say this from them, is that that the change is going to be worth it. The change is going to be worth it because we get to tell the history of things to our children, to our grandchildren. We get to write books about it, right? For history, because this is going to be the biggest shift we've ever had in 12,500 years or more. See? And you get to live through it. because you chose to live through it, through your soul journey, right? Your contract says, yeah, and you sign on the bottom line. And people have said to me, well, Bill, I think it was going to be this bad. Well, your soul did. Your soul totally did. It's just a human that isn't that we're programmed for to strive. We're programmed for victimhood. We're programmed for poor me's. Not all the time, but the underlying energy of human being in this lifetime and before is survival. Well, survival is one of two things. I'm going to get what I want, and I don't care how I'm going to get it. That'd be me. Right? Not anymore. Trust me, not anymore at all. And sometimes I miss that part of myself. I really do. Not caring and going and doing what I got to do to make my paper. To make my paper. See? And the other side is victimhood. I need somebody to take care of me because I can't do it myself. I'm not strong enough. Well, that's not true. That's a lie. But ego can put you in that place. But those are the two differences between most people. And we all have both of those inside of us. Just want to give up. And you don't pass. You don't die. Spirit's like, no, no. You got another 55 years, my friend. You got to keep going. Well, what do you mean that? I don't want to do that anymore. Well, you don't have a choice. That's what the frustrating thing is that human, not yet, doesn't know what they signed up for. But we will. That's the cool thing. When we slide back into 5D, some of us, or most of us, however we decide to do it, by 2030, we'll get it. Because guess what? The future will be set in front of us. Be set in front of us. So we don't have any problem because we're floating. We're able to teleport ourselves around the planet. We're able to talk to somebody without speaking. Sounds bizarre, sounds weird, sounds unachievable. But in the last 10 years since I've been doing this, everything has changed. Everything has changed since 2014. Everything. It's amazing that in a decade, how much can shift for the better. From my point of view, right? For others' point of view, which are still living in 3D and they live a 3D lifestyle. It's still 3D outside. I mean, the country's shifting, the world's shifting. That's why the wars and things are going on. Very medieval, very, back in the day, right? And he says, thank God we won't have that much longer, which is true. They just switched subject on me. Hang on. Okay. Massive losses in 2025, 26, 27, meaning a lot of 3Ders will be gone. All right? I don't know how. They won't tell us how. All we can look back is the past and look at when we went from fifth dimension to nothing for 500 years on the planet. Pretty much everything was done for human anyway. And then they reintroduced us in limited numbers in Africa. Okay, when they were gone, they took them. The aliens just came down because they were. They thought the spaceships were gods because and I talked about this before. And all of the emperors and the pharaohs and things like that, the leaders knew that they weren't, but they told the population that they were because they were in cahoots with them. Okay, and so when the massive removal happened, they just swooped them all up and took them away. Because there's no bones, there's no anything in the earth. There's nothing from that time in the soil. So from what they say to me is, Bill, we just removed them. Just removed them. There weren't 8 billion trillion people on the planet. Well, that's true. He said, but the plan did work, which is true, with the people in Africa, right? Because back then, it was a tropical rainforest. How much can change in 12,000 years? A lot. See? Think about that. Think about the last year, or I'm sorry, the last 100 years. 100 years ago, we didn't have nothing. Everybody was poor. Everybody was poor. And in my lifetime, right? Think about this. But until 1974, I saw this on TV last night. Okay, it reaffirmed what I was going to talk about today. A woman could not have a credit card. Was basically owned by your husband. And I remember my mother saying, when she was talking on the phone to the doctor or the bank, this is Mrs. Carl Hobart. Not Margaret Hobart, Mrs. Carl Hobart. Because that's the way that it was laid out. That was exactly how society was. 1974, you could actually have a credit card for a woman. Because the government said it's okay. That's 1974. I was 14. That's 50 years ago. It's only 50 years ago. Think about that, right? It was all in your husband's name. But if after all that time, 1974, but it kind of goes with the interracial marriage, right? 1972. The whole country was able to marry whoever you wanted to. 1972. Not that long ago, 52 years ago. Right? When you're old, you can kind of think back and go, holy cow, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. Because most of us are plentiful now. It's pretty good in the United States for sure. Not great. Should be much, much better. And that's coming, right? That's really coming. Where everybody's good. Because the year 2000, we went from masculine energy for the past 2,000 years to feminine energy for the next 2,000 years. When did the starseeds come? 2000 and 2012. Different beings showed up. 2000, you brought baggage in from last lifetime. Just the last one. Not last lifetimes, just the last one. After 2012, you didn't bring any baggage in as a brand new child on the planet. No. Completely clean, completely clear, 100% starseed. 100% connected. And after 2020, even more connected than ever. Knowing things that only they know. Because there's connection, and then there's connection. And the blessing is, we're already connected. We just have to clear off our dirt, our scum, our grossness to allow us to connect. Us to form that bond with them that the people in 5D had before. Okay? Very important that we understand how things have changed in 50 years, how things have changed in 100 years to where we are today. Now I understand why my parents would always say, you kids have it so much better than me and your dad did. Yeah, I can understand that totally now. Didn't think it then, but I do now, right? And that's going to be what we're going to talk about and write about and lecture about when we're on the circuit, out there doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is telling people our stuff. Giving them the example of what we went through, like our parents, with the snow, up to our knees, and we had to walk 15 miles to get to school, stuff like that. My parents did the same thing. So we get to do that. The great thing is they're already on their process of going through their ascension and connecting deeply. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. See? So you're basically enlightening them and turning them on. Everything starts to click, right? And that's what the deal is. Because someone has to teach the 330 million people in the United States what the hell's going on. And right now, everybody's freaking. Everybody's freaking out. Because what April did. Lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, Jupiter, Uranus, full moon, new moon. Oh my God, it was crazy ridiculous. But guess what? we all recognize. So when stuff starts to come up, recognize it and let it go. Recognize it and let it go. Thinking about stuff that that maybe you haven't thought about, in my case, 50 years, 60 years. Because I'm going through that process now, just a little teeny bit. But I invite those things. Why? Because I know once I hit that, okay, but you're kind of mostly done thing, things will shift. Things will shift. They're shifting now. The energy right now on the planet is bliss. Does it suck about all the other junk? Yes. Yes. But that's transformation. We go through that too, only on a smaller scale than what the demonstrations are about, right? Because many of those people are being led without knowing. And Spirit tells me about 60% of them are starseeds because of their age. Because they haven't pulled their head out of 3D yet. But things like this, demonstrations on college campuses because of Gaza, allow them to do that. They make them, He says it makes them think more. Makes them think more. Instead of being reactionary, without knowing the truth. Easily manipulated, he says. Which is unfortunate. Because like I said, most of them are starseeds. But Spirit sometimes believes and tells me this, that some people, not all, some people have to go through that because they haven't had enough in their childhood. To wake up one day and go, I get it. I get it. Okay. I don't want to do that again because I found out A, B, C, and D. They manipulated me, A, B, C, and D. But if we're true to ourselves and we're grounded and we absolutely allow them to show us what's what by speaking to them, right? By having daily conversations with them, by absolutely making them our best friends, right? They will guide you through everything that you could possibly imagine. Hell, I got this stuff because my freaking veil is decomposing or something. 3 of those. Turn around, feeding the baby, the dog, right? And because I'm on a special diet. And I turn around, it's on the counter. Like, where did that come from? Hello? I'm glad it didn't fit. Glad it didn't go in her bowl, right? Or something like that. But I didn't see it fly down. Nothing. Completely just appeared. Yeah. So if you guys have those types of things that are starting to happen, text me. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear all the stuff that happens with you guys. The element people, they always give me cool stuff. Most of them do. Because it's cool. I love to hear that kind of things because Spirit says it opens its possibilities. It opens its possibilities, which is true. I am so enamored with everybody's journey. Everybody's journey. I compare it to mine. Like, oh, this is kind of cool. I used to say, how come I can't? No, I'm not that guy anymore. That was 2015, 16, Bill. Not anymore. It's like, that is fascinating. And then when I find those things out, they tell me all kinds of more things. That blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah. So so as you do that, also, you can use the, if you're part of the element packages, which are coaching sessions, right? Where you buy 12 months of coaching and you get the 13th month free. It has a private Coaching for the Soul group on Facebook. And many, many times people go on that and tell people what's going on outside the group. So that if the group, oh my God, I did the same thing, and they have conversations, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Yeah, yeah, see? But yes, text me, Facebook message me, whatever. I'd love to hear that kind of stuff, right? Okay. I think he's done. Yeah, I think they're done. So, anyway, I think they are. So, it's my 10th anniversary this year. I can't believe it's been 10 years since I left my last job. And it blows my mind that it's 2024 and I left in 2014. So I'm doing readings. Special prices, $50 off. Half an hour is $75 and hours are $105. Yeah, if you guys want to get back in touch with me, cool, do that, because it's your time. Also, element packages, I'm going to rename them Coaching for the Soul, I'm not sure, memberships or something like that. There's 15 minutes to an hour and a half conversation with me every month. Everything is priced extremely inexpensively when it comes down to having a session every month. You can break up them up over half an hour at a time every week. If you have an hour, you have an hour and a half, you have 45 minutes, whatever. But they're at billhobart.com under memberships, I believe. Yes. So, guys, have a good week. It's going to be sunny here in Detroit. Do your meditations, right? Exercise, drink your water, watch what you eat. I'm going to say this. I posted this on my Facebook page, my Bill Clairvoyant page, about the man who lives, I believe he's a monk, and he is Shiloh something, and he has this morning exercise routine, which connects to me bingo, because I'm 64, and the old body's like kind of rickety sometimes, especially in the morning. When I get in my bed, I just like pass away. Then I come back because the days are so stressful and so going so fast. I'm gonna post it again. I freeze and post it again. But you do this thing in the morning, first thing, and then you kind of do your wrist, and then you kind of do your elbows, and you kind of use your shoulders, and then you breathe and things like that. It's pretty cool. And I'll tell you what, it resonates with me 110,000%, because my body's old. And even if you're not old, Spirit says, it's something you can do. It takes 10 minutes, and it really gets you up and ready to go. So, yeah. So I'm going to post that too on my Bill Clairvoyant page. So anyway, guys, thanks for hopping on this. And got any questions? You know how to find me. Social media, same thing. Hobart Bill on Instagram, and Bill Clairvoyant, and Bill Hobart Clairvoyant, Medium, and Psychic. I have 3 pages. Yeah. Got anything going on? Let me know if you want to. And I'll see you next Thursday for Coaching for the Soul. Thursdays at 3. See you guys.